Lismore, located in New South Wales, Australia, has long been known for its picturesque landscape, rich history, vibrant community, art and culture. However, in recent years, the town has faced a multitude of challenges that have caused it to deteriorate in ways that residents have never expected. From environmental disasters to the collapse of essential infrastructure, the town's struggles have become a pressing concern. Here's the true story of how Lismore is getting worse by the day and why. The town of Lismore is no stranger to flooding. Located along the Wilson River, it has faced frequent floods throughout its history, but nothing could have compared it to the catastrophic floods of 2022. A combination of intense rainfall, overflowing rivers and the new highway that trapped floodwaters from being released into the ocean led to a mega flood. The river swelled to levels never seen before, leaving thousands of residents stranded and their homes submerged under metres and metres of water. The damage was severe and the aftermath even worse. Entire neighbourhoods wiped out. People lost everything: homes, businesses, cars, caravans, and in some cases, their lives. For Lismore, this was a turning point, one that revealed the broader vulnerabilities of the town and its infrastructure. The recovery process has been painfully slow. Many residents are still living in temporary accommodation, caravans and tents in their backyards, and many in half-gutted houses. The promise of government aid has often fallen short. The rebuilding effort has been hampered by bureaucracy and the shortage of jobs. Also, as a result, many people who once called Lismore home have left, while the remainder feel trapped in a cycle of uncertainty. The region's weather patterns have become unpredictable, with extreme rainfall and storms happening more frequently. In the aftermath of the 2022 floods, the town was hit by another series of severe weather events, further hindering recovery efforts. The town's infrastructure, including its drainage systems, roads and bridges, were not built to withstand such frequent intense weather events. Even though there is long-term plans to upgrade the infrastructure, funding has been insignificant and the process has been painfully slow. Also, the increase and frequency of these kinds of natural disasters only exacerbates the sense of despair for the people of Lismore, making it feel like their recovery efforts are constantly undermined by the next storm. Economic decline and the loss of local businesses. Before the floods, Lismore was a bustling regional centre with a thriving local economy. The town had a mix of small and large businesses, retail stores, cafes and services that catered to both residents and visitors. However, in the wake of the floods, many of these businesses were completely destroyed, and with the insurance companies refusing to pay up, many people could not afford to rebuild or repair, and then were forced to walk away from their businesses and homes, leaving them abandoned. Some businesses have managed to reopen, but many have not, leaving Lismore a shell of its former self. The lack of consistent foot traffic, the damage to infrastructure and ongoing uncertainty about the future have made it difficult for a business to stay afloat. The town's economy is now struggling with high unemployment rates and a noticeable decline in local commerce. Many residents have either lost their jobs or been forced to relocate to look for work. The knock-on effects have been felt across the region as the town's ability to generate economic activity has been severely diminished. For a town that relied on local businesses to sustain its economy, the decline is devastating. To make matters worse, the town's housing crisis has only worsened as thousands of people who were displaced by the floods are struggling to find affordable accommodation. Lismore's public infrastructure, such as schools, community centres, were also affected by the floods. Schools have been operating out of makeshift classrooms, and still some are waiting for repairs. While there are efforts underway to restore essential services, the process has been slow, and many in the community feel like they've been forgotten, both by state and federal governments. Squatting and social tensions. Vacant properties have become occupied by squatters, seeking shelters amid the housing shortage. This has led to conflicts with authorities, neighbours and locals who are trying to evict the squatters and demolish the structures they occupy. This highlights the inadequate recovery efforts by the government, as well as lack of jobs and affordable accommodation, as home prices and rents soar outside of the flood zone, becoming out of reach for even working families, let alone someone struggling to find permanent work. Lismore has become a ghostly sort of town, with house after house, block after block, fenced up, ready to be demolished or removed. While Lismore is not completely abandoned, the town has seen a significant decline. Squatting, or the act of occupying abandoned or vacant properties without permission, is something that's been happening across Australia, but in Lismore it has reached critical levels. When the devastating floods hit, thousands of homes and businesses were destroyed, leaving many without a place to live. But even before the floods, the region was already struggling with housing shortages. The combination of these factors had led to an increase of people finding shelter wherever they can, even abandoned homes. The issue in Lismore is multifaceted. Not only has the flood displaced thousands of people, but the ongoing lack of affordable housing and the rising cost of living has made it difficult for many people to secure a permanent home. Squatting becomes a survival mechanism for some people, but it also brings out a large range of social, legal and safety issues. Local authorities have been trying to provide emergency housing and long-term solutions, but the reality is the demand far outweighs the supply. The government is working on projects to rebuild homes and provide financial support, but it's a slow process and many residents still feel left behind. The situation has sparked debate across the region, as some people believe the squatters are freeloaders and bludgers taking advantage of a current situation, while others argue that the lack of affordable housing is to blame and houses are abandoned anyway, so why not let people stay in them? The situation in Lismore is a reflection on challenges faced by many communities across Australia. The rise in squatting is just a symptom of the largest crisis facing many thousands of families, and solving it will require a mix of government action, community support, long-term planning. Good luck. While Lismore is far from completely deserted, these factors combined have led to a significant sense of abandonment and loss. The ongoing struggles with economic decline, infrastructure issues, rural depopulation, lack of housing and jobs have contributed to the town's current state, a shell of its former self, and some say it will never be the same ever again.